Play with this.
Andy!
Hi guys, I'm the Michael Myers fanatic. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the next film, Child's Play 7. I know it doesn't really have a title, but that's what I'm calling it because it doesn't have a title. The script probably hasn't even been written yet. But after watching Curse of Chucky, I want to first of all say thank you to the Chucky fans. They've been so kind to me. They've been nicer than the Halloween fans have been. I want to give a shout out to their group, Chucky Nation. I'll put the link in the description box. You can join if you want. I'm in the group. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I think that Child's Play 7 is probably gonna focus more on Andy Barclay, because even though he wasn't really in part 6, he was mentioned a lot, more than usual. Chucky mentioned him, well, I'm not gonna say a lot, but this is the first time Chucky spoke his name since part 3. So that tells me something right there. And being a horror fan gives me a lot of knowledge about the horror genre, and I can just see where things are going from here. And basically, I think that Child's Play 7 is gonna come full circle. And what I mean by that is everything goes in a circle. The very place you start in is the same place you're gonna end in. That's the way I feel about it. I mean, Nika was a very interesting character. I like her. I have nothing against her. But part 7 is probably going to focus on Andy. I'm just being honest with you. That's probably what it's going to focus on. And I also believe that Jennifer Tilly's character, Tiffany, ends up mailing Chucky to Andy's house. Andy's probably gonna have a wife and kid, and Chucky's gonna start the same thing all over again with Andy's kid, you know? And this is where I think Andy's probably gonna end up being killed, because that's the way it goes with these kinds of movies, you know? The same way it is for Laurie Strode. You know, she was killed in Resurrection by Michael Myers. Laurie finally died in Halloween Resurrection, so I think the same thing's going to happen with Andy Barclay. I think that Chucky's going to end up killing him. I'm not going to say that Don Mancini ignored the seed of Chucky. I just think he's not really going to focus on it, you know? He might give little winks to it, but I think he's really trying to redeem the series after the seed of Chucky, you know what I mean? I think Andy Barclay's going to be killed. And if Nika is in part 7, she's not going to last long either, because there's not much you can do with her. She doesn't have a lot to do with the Child's Play franchise, except for this thing that Don Mancini recently threw in there. He said, Chucky knew your family. Obviously, you can tell that that's something he made up as he went along. All storylines are made up as they go along, but I'm saying it feels rushed, you know? It feels like that's something he just whipped up, you know, at the last minute. He just threw that in there. Like, he really didn't take time to write it. He just threw it together and hoped that people would accept it. Look, I'm not trying to make any of the fans angry. It's just that that was a really stupid motive for Chucky to kill all those people. So you're telling me that 1 through 6 was all because he got snitched on. I can't get past that. It just seems like such a stretch that he would go that far for the sake of revenge. Because someone told on him. It just doesn't make much sense to me. So I hope get rid of that in part 7. They can keep it, but just don't focus on it too much. As I said again, I think everything should go full circle, and I think that's what's going to happen. This guy, Chucky, is probably going to go after Andy's new family, and he's probably going to end up killing Andy. And then in part 8, he's probably going to stalk Andy's son. I want to give a shout out to the Chucky Nation and tell you to join their group if you're a Chucky fan. I hope that Child's Play 7 comes sooner than later. And they said that part 6 is supposed to reignite the franchise. So, I'm a little excited about it. One last thing I want to say before I go. I think there's another angle you could use if you don't want to do the Andy Barkley thing. You could also go back to Glenn and Galinda. I mean, yeah, it was a funny element. It was supposed to be comedy. But you can just find a way to make it a darker story. I just wanted to throw that in there. In all likelihood, we probably won't hear any more about Glenn or Glinda. But it's a way to go because it still is a part of the franchise. Why don't you guys let me know what you think they should do in part 7? I would love to hear from you. Before I go, I am so sorry. I know I was supposed to go. But the girl, Alice, I think her name is, she's probably gonna be in part 7. I had a fan named Mike Brown, but he calls himself Review King. Shout out to him. He brought to my attention that Chucky probably needs Alice for something, which is why he tried to get into her at the end of part 6. So he's probably going to end up using her for something in part 7 because she said, "Why do I always have to be it?" And he said, "Because you're somebody that nobody would ever suspect." So he's probably going to end up using her for something. What that is, I don't know.